This is a sci-fi look, like a stealth helicopter from the future. In the 1990s, it carried high hopes from the US military and was known as the trump card of the digital battlefield. But this dream fighter, packed with thousands of cutting-edge technologies, ended up costing nearly $7 billion. After more than 20 years of research and development, it was abandoned by the US Army in 2004, ultimately existing only as an exhibit, lying quietly in an aviation museum. This is the first in American history, and so far the only stealth helicopter of its kind. Boeing Sikorsky RAH-66 Comanche. Why pursue such advanced technology? In modern warfare, a stealth weapon ahead of its time ended up not being mass-produced, marking a tragic ending. RAH-66 Comanche was originally designed for high-intensity conflicts during the Cold War, tailored to replace the old OH-58 Kiowa and AH-1 Cobra helicopters. To survive behind enemy lines under heavy anti-aircraft fire, it pushed stealth technology to the extreme. Its fuselage used a large amount of composite materials and borrowed from the F-117 stealth fighter, a faceted, angular design. Its surface was covered with radar-absorbing materials and infrared suppression layers. With a unique ducted tail rotor and a downward-sloping pentagonal main rotor, the Comanche's radar cross-section was 360 times smaller than the AH-64 Apache, even smaller than half the size of a Hellfire missile. Its infrared signature was reduced by 75%, and its noise level was far lower than conventional helicopters. This allowed it to get 5 times closer to targets than the Apache before being detected. But don't think it was just a stealth reconnaissance aircraft. Inside the Comanche was essentially a flying, heavily armed supercomputer. Its mission systems contained up to 1.4 million lines of software code, making it the most software-intensive rotorcraft of its time. To preserve its stealth profile, it used internal weapon bays. It could carry 6 Hellfire anti-tank missiles or 12 air-to-air missiles, and it was also equipped with a retractable 20mm 3-barrel Gatling gun. The cockpit featured 5th-generation aircraft-level technology, where pilots wore sci-fi-style helmets with integrated display and targeting systems. The nose housed advanced forward-looking infrared systems and electro-optical sensors, and it could even be equipped with a mast-mounted millimeter-wave radar similar to the longbow system. Not only could it silently hunt enemies, it could also act as a battlefield sensor node, transmitting target data in real time to Apaches or ground forces, enabling coordinated, high-efficiency strikes. However, this technological masterpiece failed when faced with real economic constraints. Unlike the low-cost A-29, which became widely successful, the Comanche's cost spiraled out of control. With the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War, the U.S. military no longer faced large conventional armies with advanced air defense systems, but instead guerrilla forces in the war on terror. In such conflicts, extreme stealth became excessive and unnecessary. Worse still, as new technologies kept being added, development delays accumulated and costs snowballed. By 2002, the planned acquisition of 650 Comanches had reached $26.9 billion. By 2008, it was expected to consume 40% of the Army aviation budget. The cost per unit rose to over $32 million, and the hourly flight cost reached $2,042, far higher than the OH-58 it was meant to replace. In 2004, the U.S. Army made a decisive choice. It would rather pay massive cancellation penalties than continue funding this money-burning project. The saved funds were redirected to upgrading existing Apache and Black Hawk helicopters, and to rapidly developing drones that proved highly effective in Afghanistan and Iraq. Yet, the Comanche's legacy did not disappear. The stealth and noise reduction technologies it validated were later used in the stealth-modified Black Hawk during the Bin Laden operation. Its concept of network-centric warfare also evolved into widely used drone coordination tactics. With a price tag of $7 billion, the RAH-66 Comanche proved a harsh truth to the world. In warfare, blindly pursuing cutting-edge technology often leads to disaster. Weapons that truly dominate the battlefield are those that accurately match the threats of their time and strike the perfect balance between technology, cost, and reliability.